everyone, welcome back to my channel and back to another Makeup Mondays with Marc. So tonight I thought we would do a really kind of fun, grungy, glittery, smoky eye. So it's something that's a bit different than your typical black smoky eye that most girls do wearing a night out. So with this it's more about using the glitter to bring out the colour of your eye as opposed to going with the big smokiness that's just kind of seen on everyone. So yeah, this is something I did really enjoy doing, so if you do recreate the look or you like what you see, then you know what to do, guys. Get me on Instagram, subscribe or comment below. Don't forget to hashtag MMMarc for me to see all your looks and stuff. Yeah, so let's just get into it. Okay, so let's just get right into this because there is a lot to do in order to create this beautiful look. So what I've done already is I've prepped my skin, which I've done almost exactly the same way as I did in my complexion video, which was a few weeks ago. But what I have done different is I applied a wee bit of blusher, which is something I didn't do in my previous video. And the blusher I used is from the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani Palette. And the shade I used is called Hush, which is this one here. It's just a really nice neutral peachy tone blush, and I just worked it a wee bit onto the cheeks. That's the only difference in my complexion, and then of course I've done one eye already for you and we'll just go straight on to the other eye. So when it comes to the other eye, I've prepped it with a base, and the base I used is the same as my video from last week, and that is the Lancome Effecernes Long Wear Concealer in shade number 1. And I also used this underneath the eye, all over my lid, and then set it with a wee bit of translucent powder. Any translucent powder you want, just use it and sweep it all over the lid. So that's where we're at so far. So to start off the look with the colour, what I've done is I am going to go in onto the eye with a Lancome blusher in shade Rose Paradise. Now, can you see, if I close this slightly, you can see just how pink it is. My ring light's kind of making the blush look not as pink, but this is almost like a neon pink blusher, okay? I'm going in with my number 17 Lancome blending brush, which as you know is a massive favourite of mine. I'm just working a wee bit of the blush onto the brush, head back, looking down, and I'm working that from outer corner to inner corner and window wiping that in. And I really do keep going back and taking a wee bit of the blush at a time to really build up the colour. And then I use circular motions to blend out and soften. So window wiper and circle. Going in with a wee bit more, and I'm really trying to keep this quite round. I don't want to pull this look out too far. I don't want to wing it out or anything. I really want it to be quite round and tight to the shape of my eye. What I'm then doing is I'm going in with just a small fluffy blending brush, a really small one. This is actually quite old, so I don't even know what it is. But I just take the same blush and I'm pulling it underneath through the lower lashes. Again, building up the colour and joining it on the top. Now don't worry if you're quite messy with this. With regards to the shape you're creating, I am going to go in and tidy up after. So I'm pulling this right into the inner corner underneath, and then we're pulling it on top on the inner corner on top. So we're really surrounding the entire eye from outer corner to inner corner with the blusher, but we're just avoiding the eyelid there. Now you could use, if you've got like the Urban Decay electric palette, there's a pink in that I suppose you could use that would be slightly brighter than this blusher. So that would probably take the look even more dramatic, to be honest with you. But I just like how soft this blusher is to be able to blend it. And also for kind of blending other colours into it. There's talc through this blusher, so it does mean that I get a really, really good blend with other colours I'm going to use. So what I'm then going to do is go into the eye with a Makeup Forever eyeshadow, and this colour is called Blush, and it's kind of like a deep matte raspberry, like deep burgundy, almost raspberry colour. Can you see that? It's very nice. Very nice indeed. And I'm going in with my Zoeva 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush, which is kind of fluffy, but it's very flat. Now these Makeup Forever eyeshadows, if you've never used them, oh my god, they blend like butter. They are gorgeous. So I'm taking that again from outer corner, and because I'm using quite a flat brush, I'm really working right into the crease there to the inner corner. So I'm taking my line a wee bit thinner with this colour into the crease, so that I'm going to get a nice blend into the pink blusher that I put on first of all, and then it's making my crease look a wee bit deeper. Now when I bought this colour, and I just actually bought it the other day, I was on the lookout for a deep matte burgundy, which I cannot seem to find a good one anywhere. So please guys, if you know of one, give me a shout, comment below, let me know, because I really am on the lookout for one. Yeah, but this seems to go on a wee bit more cranberry tone, slightly pinker. I don't know whether it's just because I've got that bright pink underneath, but it wasn't quite as reddish as I wanted. So all I'm doing is going back in with that same fluffy blending brush that I used for the blusher first of all, and I'm very lightly blending in that Makeup Forever eyeshadow to the blush. Again, don't worry if you've taken it too high or too wide. We're going to go and tidy up in a wee second. So I'm now going in with my Zoeva 226 Smudger brush, which is a very small, flat brush, with that same Makeup Forever eyeshadow, and I'm taking this very, very tightly through the lash line. Underneath, sorry. Again, from outer corner all the way to the inner corner, pulling it around on top so that we're really getting that darkness on the inner corner of the eye, and the same on the outside. So if you've done your complexion, you would have seen the way that I do my complexion. I've got my beauty blender. There's still probably quite a wee bit of the concealer in the eye base that I used on the tip here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to use the top, and I'm really just very lightly pressing underneath the brow, just because I know that my blend came up slightly too high and I just want to soften it out, and the same pulling it all the way underneath, just so that I'm getting that nice round shape to the shadow. But it's good using your beauty blender for this, because you still get the soft blends to the shadows. You're not being left with a sharpness that you then need to go on with your brushes and re-blend out. It saves you a lot of time and effort. So next we go on with liner. The liner I'm going to use is an Urban Decay 24/7 pencil, and this is in shade Vice. Now this is quite an electric purple eyeliner, and these are really great, guys, if you've got like very watery eyes and you know your liner normally smudges. When these go on, they pretty much don't budge, so they're perfect for the waterline. And we're just working that all the way along, from outer corner right to the inner corner. And then I do kind of pull it on top, underneath, on both corners. So on the inner corner I'm pulling it up the way into the top waterline, and on the outer corner I'm pulling it up the way onto the top waterline as well. So now to start applying that gorgeous purple tone. Underneath, what I've actually used is from the Urban Decay Electric palette, and it is this beautiful purple on the bottom row right in the middle. Its name is Urban, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I suppose if you look at Urban Decay counters, they are all purple, so that would make sense. And what I'm going to do is go in with my little Zoeva 237 Detail Shader. So it is a very small little, almost like a liner brush for underneath. And we're just taking that tone Urban. And this palette, guys, is so pigmented. Oh my god. I think it actually almost stains the lid. So do be careful. And we're just kind of smudging out that pencil that we put on into the waterline. I'm just using the shadow underneath from outer corner to inner corner, kind of smudging it out and giving me that real kind of dark purple into the Makeup Forever, into the Lancome blush. So we're really getting the purple going into the burgundy, into the pink, and you get that really nice blend. I'm pulling this colour around on top, so really working it onto the inner corner on top, and I'm pressing up and building up quite a bit of colour here. And then on the outside, what I'm going to do is pull the colour just onto the outer corner of the lid. So we're getting that darkness on the inner corner and we're getting the darkness on the outer corner. And I'm only really doing this on the outer corner so that I've got a wee bit of purple there for my glitter to blend into. You won't actually see this by the time the look is finished. So hopefully what you should notice is that I don't have loads of droppage, even though I've got my base on and everything. It's because I keep pressing all my shadows, oh you can't even see it, onto the back of my hands. And when you're pressing your pigment onto your brush, you want to take the excess off onto the back of your hand, like a palette, because that's when you get droppage, is when you get too much colour on your brush. So we go from the palette to the back of your hand, pressing in, and then go onto your eye, and you get no droppage. Okay, so it's just a wee tip there. Now for the messy part. So we're going on to the glitter, and the glitter I'm going to use is just this beautiful pot of purple glitter that I got from a craft shop. It isn't actually a makeup product in particular, but I do think you get a much better glimmer than when you use kind of glitter pigments and loose pigments and all that sort of thing. But if you do have a purple loose pigment, like glittery or shimmery, then by all means use that, but I'm just going to end with this purple. So what I'm going to use to stick it to my eye is the Inglot DuraLine, which is just this little pot here, which when I first saw it I actually thought it was a clear nail varnish, but it's not, so there you go. I just pop a couple of drops onto a metal palette, which you'll see is an absolute mess. I need to give it a clean. But yeah, just a couple of drops, because it's got the wee dropper when you pull it out. And you see like this. A couple of drops onto your metal palette or onto your plate or whatever you use. And you want to use a flat synthetic brush, so I'm going to use the MAC 212. And it's important that you do use a synthetic brush here and not a brush with real hair, because it will just cling and it will just ruin it all. So I popped a couple of dots onto that. I'm literally just dipping my brush into the glitter and mix it in with the DuraLine that's on my palette. I'll try and do this on the camera so you can see. And I'm going back in for more glitter and mixing a wee bit in with the DuraLine here. Here's the mess here. More glitter, more DuraLine, and it's all really sticking to that brush. Can you see there? Lovely. And then all you do is you want to look down with your head, so you almost want to have your handheld mirror and go like this, and then start packing the eyeshadow on. And you want your head to be down so that the glitter's going to fall off your face and not onto your face, okay? But I'm going to attempt to do this just now without, because it should be wet enough with the DuraLine that I shouldn't get too much droppage. And it's okay if you get left with quite a sharp crease. I quite like the cut crease with the glitter, because then you get a more of a nicer blend into the shadows. I'm literally packing that on with the wee synthetic 212 brush. And it's great. What the DuraLine does, in case that any of you have never used it before, is you're supposed to use it with a pigment, so like a loose pigment or an eyeshadow, and it will turn any eyeshadow into a liquid liner, a 24-hour waterproof liquid liner, might add. So the fact that I'm using it for the loose glitter means that throughout the night, when you're on your night out, you're not going to have your glitter transferring up into the smudge and up onto your brow bone. You're not going to have it falling down your face throughout the night. Literally, the DuraLine will make it waterproof and it will make the glitter not move. Okay, so just two things left to do for the eye look. One, brow bone highlight, and what I actually used was a very small bit of yellow, because I love the way that pink and purple blends into yellow. I think it just looks really summery and almost kind of tie-dye looking. So I went in with Illamasqua shadow in the shade Hype. One little bit of this, and I'm using the MAC 217 brush. I'm talking one little dab, and I just very softly sweep that through the pink onto the brow bone. So it's a really, really soft highlight on the brow bone, but the yellow just gives you a much nicer blend on the outsides there. And then to finish, I didn't actually use any false lashes. I just went in with mascara, just because I think if I went in with false lashes it would look almost too much, but it's completely up to you. But what I went in with first of all was an eye primer, and I'm using the Lancome Cils Booster Extra Large here. And this would be very similar to the likes of your Urban Decay Subversion. And it's just a white mascara, but it's a treatment for your lashes, and what it actually does is when you put it on before you put your mascara on, it primes your lashes for the mascara so that your mascara sticks better. But it's going to absorb, it's a treatment that absorbs into your lashes to actually plump up your lashes. Almost like when you put a moisturiser on, your skin plumps up. This does the same to your lashes. I think it's got loads of vitamins and minerals and all that sort of thing, so it's really, really good for anyone who's got thin or short lashes. So I just worked loads of that on, and I know that it looks scarily white just now, but if you were to leave it on, it absorbs in and disappears and goes clear. And then mascara wise, I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Perversion, which is an extra black, extra volume kind of false lash mascara. It's got a big bushy brush, you will see. And I'm really just going to work loads of that right into the roots of my lashes so that I'm getting that false lash effect, but without false lashes. But like I said, if you want to go in with a set of false lashes, then go for it. It's totally up to yourself. Okay, so we're nearly done the look. I'm just going to define in my brow a wee bit, because this is such a strong look on the eyes. I don't want to do a really thick blocky brow, but I do need to frame this look for a wee bit more definition. So what I'm going to use on my brows is something a wee bit different actually for me. I'm still going to use a brow gel, but the brow gel I'm going to use is the Lancome one. Now I'm going to use this in shade number 3 because it's waterproof. So just like I've put that DuraLine on, I'm going to be out at night out, I'm going to be dancing, so I want to make sure that my brows are not going to smudge down my face. So this brow gel is completely waterproof. So when I'm using it, I'm going to use my little Inglot, sorry, talking absolute crap here, my Illamasqua brow brush, because you know I absolutely love it. It's really hard. I'm going to dip that into my little pot of water, which I keep here. And you know what, this wee pot is the best little jar ever. I use them for tea lights, I use them for water. And do you know what it actually was? It was from a goo dessert. You know, you get that really rich chocolate, the goo, G-U I believe it is. Yeah, it was like some sort of like chocolate dessert came in it. Yeah. Just in case you ever wonder where to get a good wee pot, you know. So yeah, I just work the water into the back of my hand. I go in with the brow gel, take a bit off, and I really just find, like I said in my last video, that by wetting my brush a wee bit, you get a lot more of a softer texture to the brow gel, because you know what it's like, any of you that do work with brow gels, they can dry up really quickly on your hand, and before you know it, you're struggling to get the sharp line because you've got too thick a texture. So this doesn't take away any of the coverage, it doesn't take away any of the thickness, but it does just give you more time to play with the shadow and with the gel, I suppose. So I'm just starting off underneath, really sharp line, all the way along the base of my brows, right from the inner corner. And then I kind of flick up the way with that colour. So sharp line right to the arch, and then flick up the way. I'm going to extend my brow out a wee bit longer than where it naturally finishes. Then without adding any more product, so I'm actually taking some of the excess product off onto the clean part of my hand. I'm then just going to work from the top so that I'm getting a lot more of a lighter finish, and I just work along the top of the hairs and then pull it down the way into the arch and fill it in. So I've got a good bit of definition, but I'm not blocking out the centre of my brow, and I am extending my brow out a wee bit longer than where it naturally finishes. So then to finish off the entire look, because I wanted to keep it all about the eyes, it's all about the purple, it's all about the drama, it's all about the glitter, I don't want the lips to be too much, so I'm just going to take my beauty blender and blot out my lips. So that just takes them a wee bit more nude tone because there's still a wee bit of concealer on there. And then I'm going in with this Urban Decay kind of high colour lip gloss, and this is in the shade Kinky. Now I love this packaging, you see how it's kind of like textured, it's really cool. Yeah, and this is part of the Revolution range, and it's just this really beautiful kind of high colour like peachy tone. So see if I can, oh, where can I swatch? My hands are an absolute riot. I'll swatch it on, oh, here, yeah. There, you can see it's a kind of like a nudie, warm peach tone. So it's not going to take away any drama from my eyes or any focus from my eyes, but it's still going to give me a wee bit of colour onto the lips. You can never have too much gloss. Okay, so there we have it. I'm just going to let my hair down, pull on a jacket, and I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay guys, and there we have it. That's me ready to go and hit the town, go out dancing. I hope you like it. So you see, you can really see that glitter on the eyes. It really brings out the colour of my eyes. I've got very kind of green hazel toned eyes. So I think if you're going for a look like this, do pair it with something really kind of minimal. I wouldn't go for colour on colour personally, so it's really all about the makeup, and the makeup's the main look. Just kind of messy the hair up and we're good to go. So yeah, if you like what you see, then please get me on Instagram, comment below, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Yeah, and I'll see you next Monday. Thanks, bye.